Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Global Grandmasters lower bracket, the round before the lower bracket finals. The winner of this series has Alliance waiting for him. Winner of that will be moving up to the grand finals for the Global Grandmasters, where Empire is happily seated in that best of 5 with a 1-game advantage. Boy, is that a big advantage. My God, Empire's got to be happy with that. But in front of us here, Power Rangers versus Vega Squadron. This is game number 2. Vega looking very, very good in game 1. We'll see if Power Rangers can switch it up here to take us to an ace match. I'm Zyori, joined again by Purge. We are from Moonduck TV. Thank you so much for joining us. I know there are a lot of choices today in Dota coverage. We thank you for joining us here. Purge, what's the good word coming into game 2, my man?
It'll be different, and I love watching different games. Looks like they're going to swap heroes a little bit, except we're going to see Darkseer this game. So I just love watching new strategies and seeing how they fit together. And I don't know if they're necessarily pre-planned, but the way that they fit together sometimes is just beautiful. And it's like the teams, when every team gets good at figuring out how every piece fits, it just makes for some beautiful Dota, and we got to see that last game.
Yeah, and we got to see a cool Skywrath mage, a hero that we've only seen a little bit, and mostly just against Timbersaw, actually. I think all of the last few times I've cast Skywrath, it's been in that almost exact scenario where it's often paired with a Void or some other hard disable and destined to shut down one of the big boys. But I mean, would you ever think that we'd get to a point here before the International 6 Purge where Shadow Demon is first ban material? This is now 2 out of 2 games where he's been taken out straight away.
I did not expect it, honestly. And teams have been playing against this for weeks and weeks where they're like, okay, let's play Shadow Demon, let's let them pick Shadow Demon. It's just easier to ban it sometimes because the abusiveness of the late game illusion spam to go high ground is really what's most OP about him. It's basically what got him picked in the first place. All of his other skills are valuable, but it's like having this late game rat cheese strat where you can disrupt an illusion carry and send him high ground just to do damage. So I'm sure he will get a nerf. I don't know if it's going to be before or after TI. Probably after at this point, considering we have a week to go.
Yeah.
It would probably be a little bit late. Even though I think he's far and away the most OP hero right now. I feel like he's the most prioritized, even though those other heroes are good. Their Titan is still very good. Beastmaster is still good. Potom can be good. So not too surprising, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So Oracle Void now for the Power Rangers. They'll take the Void for themselves. Been too wild here. Vega thinking about what they want to do with this Darkseer. Darkseer is just a really safe first pick because it really could be just a casual Darkseer. It could be the beginning of a scary team fight kind of wombo combo draft, and right away you have to think twice about what you want to put in that safe lane because Ion Shell will mess up quite a few heroes. After thinking about it though, they settle on the Wisp.
Yeah. Now, normally Darkseer is a big issue to the safe lane, but if Oracle's still in the pool and your team likes playing it, it's not that bad. So they grab Oracle to play against it because the first skill, Fortune's End, it can just nuke the wave and break all the Ion Shells. So if Darkseer comes to the lane, he can easily get zoned by Oracle, may force him to jungle instead. So despite them having Darkseer, right off the bat, this doesn't look too bad for Power Rangers as long as they don't have to deal too much with Surge and Ion Shell cores in the mid game.
Yeah. Interesting that PR opted to ban out the Disruptor here with their third. One of the better heroes against Wisp, and actually not bad against Darkseer either. Being able to lock him into that little kinetic field pen prevents the Surge from really being too effective. And they'll have the first third pick. So if they wanted the Disruptor, they could have grabbed it themselves. I see why they don't want to play against it, but
I I see why they don't want it either. I mean, they'd be very weak on Disable then. They would be on Chronosphere and that
Fortune's
then
End.
Disrupt ulti. You know, it's like very long cooldown. And yeah, you can glimpse back one guy. But if your two supports are Oracle Disruptor and you get behind, you have the worst support pairing ever. There's no offensive potential outside of your ulti. If they get BKB and you're behind, then all you can do is Chronosphere. Like, it's just not worth it, in my opinion. And it would then, therefore, counter Faces Void very easily. You could make sure he dies. Keeping Voids alive for a very long period of time can really help turn him into a carry. The IO pick for Vega Squadron is mostly as a result of Faces Void being on the enemy team because you can use it as a pseudo swap. So that one's not too surprising either, but surely it'll be a melee hero core to combo with it because of Darkseer, in anticipation at least.
Yeah, I think so as well. Wisp is also a comfort
Void,
pick for Vega. I mean, they're one of the teams that has always kind of kept Wisp as a little bit of a pocket strat that they would pull out from time to time. So definitely good against Void, and also something that they do like to run to spice things up. They've banned out a couple of cores themselves, DP as well as the Timbersaw, and PR fourth banned out the Drow Ranger. So they are not going to fall victim to another Drow strat here in game number 2. And again, to reiterate, if Power Rangers lose this, they will be officially eliminated from Global Grandmasters after losing their 4th series.
Well, I mean,
they had a good run, you know.
They did their best. They got the run of like, it would have been, I'm actually very glad that they didn't end up winning the tournament. I would have felt really bad.
Yeah, that would have been awkward. It's, you know, I understand why you don't want to just sack that whole upper bracket series after Liquid couldn't play. So it was good that Power Rangers were able to come in. It was really more just humorous that Power Rangers had already been in the tournament and eliminated through the upper and lower bracket, and then jumped back up to the upper bracket, more so than having a replacement at the last minute. But here we go. Power Rangers gonna do a little bit of the same. They're gonna take the strat that Vega had last game and go Faceless Void Skywrath Mage.
I like it. And again, good nuke damage from Oracle, but this time it actually counters Darkseer. So I don't know if they fully stole the strat from Vega here. Maybe this was theirs in the first place, but they're clearly running it immediately after losing. Again, I love the synergy. Damn it, magic damage amp between Skywrath Mage is going to help Faces Void and Oracle. So it's a good opening. Now, time dilation is not nearly as good this game. It can be very good against IO actually. If he uses tether and then you can break his tether and use time dilation, man, that's effective. Because IO is basically a worthless hero. He's not able to do what he wants to.
Yeah. I mean, just having any kind of silence that the Skywrath Mage brings to the table is good against Wisp and Darkseer. I guess you could say silence is good against most heroes, but those two in particular.
I would say it's decent because it can stop things like relocate if he hasn't cast it yet, but both of the heroes don't necessarily, like, they have escapes that they need to cast spells for, but a hero like Timbersaw, it's way more gimped by that skill, I feel. Like, Darkseer's fairly tanky, so, but he's not just about staying alive and tanking. Like, I don't know. I'm maybe having trouble explaining why.
I think with Darkseer as well, it's like he can also put on Ion Shell, which is a lot of his damage before the silence comes out. Timbersaw can't really do the same thing. Once he gets silenced, he actually can't do anything but just run away.
Yeah, that's absolutely it.
Some other little dynamics there.
And Timber doesn't buy as many defensive items usually, so if Darkseer, for example, gets a mech and then finishes up a pipe, a totally normal build for him, then Skywrath Mage easily becomes less effective. But Timber has so many other requirements. He'll need an armor item at some point. He might want Yules. He might want another item. So this is a good solution against the Magic Burst strat here. Vega's like probably know how to counter their own strategies, which makes the whole Huskar pick here very good because Power Rangers is almost all in on magic damage right now. And Timber's banned. They saw this coming. I
like this a lot from Vega. Even before the Huskar came out, I think Dazzle is quite good against the Void Skywrath combo. It's a huge amount of burst damage, but if the Dazzle is outside of the Chrono, you've got Shallow Grave that can reset things. It kind of forces the Void now to catch the Dazzle and the Wisp in the Chrono alongside the core, or else one of the supports will be able to reset things a little bit. And of course, now the synergy with Huskar is quite obvious. You've got the Shallow Grave, but you also have a lot of sustainability. Now Huskar can really jump into a fight, kind of go hog wild, crazy attack speed. We buffed up from the Wisp, a lot of movement speed as well, and pretty much healing for ages, especially once Darkseer gets the mech, kind of like you were talking about. I think Power Rangers are going to have a lot of trouble dealing with this Huskar.
With that said, though, if they can deal with the IO Dazzle backline, their other heroes can pick off Huskar. If he doesn't have a BKB, even though you know, Ancient Seal isn't as much minus magic resistance as the Berserker's Blood offsets. Berserker's Blood is not what it used to be. It used to give you like infinite, basically, magic resistance, so you took 1 damage and nuke if you were very, very low.
Yeah.
But with Skywrath Mage's 3rd skill, I genuinely think they can nuke him down, especially with help from Oracle, and maybe a little bit of disable from Batrider. You know, if the other downside though is they can't stop him from attacking during this. They don't have any disarms. They have very few disables, so he's still going to be lifestealing through this fight, but Magic Amp can be a solution against Huskar now where it wasn't.
Well, they do have, well, yeah, Fate's Edict is a disarm, but not really the ideal spell to use.
Yeah, then it stops all the magic damage.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's a big deal. I still think of Berserker's Blood is at like 100% magic resistance, but it maxes out at 50%, and Skywrath at level 4 does 45% magic amp. So Ancient Seal actually does counteract it pretty effectively.
A lot of it. It doesn't work out to be exactly that. The Ancient Seal will probably reduce to something like 33, 35, 40, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Once you do all the math equations. But that's a huge chunk of what Huskar's resisting, so it might make it like he just has a cloak, basically. And that's at low percentages. At high percentages, he has much less than 50% magic resistance. It can work, but I'm more worried about their lack of disables right now than anything else. And Hairblade can be a solution to Huskar, but I'm not sold on it. I really feel like the Huskar pick here, and then now the Slardar kind of covered all of Vega's bases. Yeah,
Vega was definitely lacking on some stun control, and now they've got the spammable mini Ravage is, wow, load in. That's like the fastest load in I think we've had this tournament so far. My God, that was incredible. Yeah, I really like this Vega draft purge. If I had to pick one, I think they've got the edge here. Not just because they won game number 1. It just seems like these heroes really fit together well, and they have a fairly straightforward game plan of what they want to do around this Huskar. For PR, they can win this game, but a lot of things need to go right. I think for execution, they definitely have the disadvantage. It's going to be way harder to find those perfect chronos and set up those kills.
Break?
Well, we already kind of missed it. I think we can just go without it.
I was thinking about it for once. Usually I forget about it and you cover it, but...
Yeah. No, that's all right. We'll skip it. We'll give you guys a freebie this time. FanObet.com. There's the ad break. Get on these live ads, guys. Global Grandmasters. You're watching all the action here.
Don't want to miss the game. Darkseer is going to be aiming for the jungle, of course. Iron Talon for him. He just can't lane this game. Oh, you know, one bad thing about the Slardar pick on Vega's side is he's very countered by time dilation if he gets hit by it. He usually does because he's usually in first, but Slardar's usefulness is reinitiating every 8 seconds and landing a new Slardar crush, and time dilation really that ability.
Yeah, they will put the Slardar in the safe lane, it looks like, and those put Huskar mid with a couple of supports nearby. Seoma the Slayer.
I like that choice. It gives him 2 right clicks. It'll offset a lot of Huskar's level 1, level 2 laning problems where he doesn't really do that much damage with Burning Spears just yet.
Yeah. I really like this Dazzle set. This is one of the. I think it was the ultra rare from Immortal 1.
I was looking at it in the shop, and every time I was like, oh, that's okay. I actually play Dazzle, but I don't like that set. But I'm looking at it now. I love the icon change. The mask looks really cool. I might have to get this.
Yeah, my problem with Dazzle now is I have too many cool Dazzle items. I have the Dazzleator, I've got the Pipe of Bezin, and
you have the pipe. Okay.
Yeah, I really like this hood though. I think this is one of the coolest Dazzle hoods that they've come out with so far.
I agree. The color palette definitely changes here, but
yeah,
Dazzle doing a smart thing here. You got to block the range creep a little bit in hopes that you end up killing their melees instead. But Cheshire Cat did a great job there, blocking his melees to make sure that the range. So that Wave Wolf Push gonna have to end up pulling to offset this.
So they will just completely sack the off lane. They'll leave the Wisp mid, and they are taking a lot of harassment here. It's a Batrider Skywrath combo, and if there was ever a lane where you want to pick up a magic wand, I think this is it. Solo has one already. No one hasn't picked one up yet, but it's just non-stop spam here between the Sticky and the Arcane Bolts.
Pretty dangerous too. I mean, Huskar's already got Windlace, so he's running really fast. With Tether on top of that, he runs even faster. And the IO can just tether both of them and heal them both for whatever that is, 150 HP every time that he uses his wand. Quite a good combo, actually, the IO Huskar mid.
Yeah. Yep, a lot of potential there. And Darkseer, as we were talking about, Ion Shell, Iron Talon, he's going to be happy just working the jungle. How fast can Darkseer farm in the jungle? Like we know the timing with the Beastmaster, he can keep up with mid. How far behind is he that mark? Like in a 1v1 mid matchup, can he kind of keep up, or is he still a little bit behind?
I'm not completely sure. I've never really jungled Darkseer since the magic resistance changes. I mean, it's definitely worse than it used to be, but it's still not bad, I don't think. Oh, there's an 8 stack on Huskar. He's just going to die here unless he kills him.
Yep, it's going to be close. Huskar going down low. Oh my, Solo now in a lot of trouble. J4 wants to chase this down. He does survive compliments of the stick. And J4 actually taking tower shots. He's going to go in. He tethers across Solo. Almost does it. He does at least force J4 to suicide to get the kill. So it's a 2-for-2 mid. The first blood was actually the Dazzle down bottom as we were watching that. Cheshire Cat fell first. And Sioma the Slayer got that bonus gold.
That should not be happening.
Yeah.
Wait, who died first? Cheshire Cat or
the
Dazzle?
Void. No, the Void died. Dazzle got the kill. And then there was the 2-for-2 mid.
Dazzle dying there would have been seen. Either way, great plays mid, but that's basically Huskar being way too overconfident. If he was playing in a 1v1, he never would have died there, but he just thought that he was invincible. But an 8 stack of Napalm, there's no saving you there. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, the auto attacks from the Bat Rider at that point are super scary. Lane's looking pretty good for Vega, though. Despite that, mid lane, they are farming really well. Bat Rider's harassing a lot, but he's only got one last hit here, Purge.
How is that possible? I'm blown away.
I mean, he's got 2 now. He just doubled up. I mean, no one is putting... It looks like they're just focusing everything on trying to harass out the Wisp Huskar, but with the bottle and now the full magic wand on both heroes, it seems like they're able to regen through it without that much trouble. I mean, yeah, it's dangerous, but Huskar's still farming and Bat Rider is still struggling.
Man, I mean, he's an ownage player. Consistently, whatever heroes he plays, he does very well. And more typically, he plays stuff like SF or 1v1 heroes, but in this combo, it's working out quite well. Just he has to be careful in the Napalm stacks.
Yep, down bottom. Cheshire Cat could actually fall again. He's already used his time walk. The creep's blocking him out. FN just doesn't want to tank the tower for too long. Does have a healing salve. Save it for now. Back mid. Oh, they'll bring down the Huskar first. Big Num will fall to the Wisp. Solo getting a solo kill. Now on the run. Not going to have the tree line to hide in. And J4 will be able to finish him off. It looks like, yeah, another Arcane Bolt will chase him down. And oh, Solo actually looks like he's got another 5 stick charges. He's going to turn. He's going to tether across. Solo again tries to make the big plays. And both supports end with a double kill. All 4 dying. It's a complete massacre in the mid lane.
Yeah, but they keep outplaying Vega a little bit. They're constantly getting the kills first. Bat Rider gets experience from the Huskar before Huskar dies. Io gets the trade, and then Skywrath Mage finishes off the Io. Kind of cool that all 4 heroes are dying, though. Every single time it happens. It really shows how close these fights are.
Yep, and all the while, the big breadwinner from all of this is the Terrorblade. Got him just solo farming. Free farm heaven, really. Darkseer going to rotate back up now that the creeps are pushing towards the tower. He's hit level 4, but Terrorblade is happy as a clam, getting a lot of CS here. Number 1 by a decent bit.
Yeah, and Meg also basically doesn't have to worry about his Iron Shells getting killed as easily now, because he's going to have Soul Ring finished. With the Soul Ring finished, he can at least trade mana then with Oracle.
Yeah. And checking back in on Cheshire Cat. Even though he did die once, are we going to see another fight mid? Yeah, we certainly are. No one in deep. Uses the stick nice and early. Gets the kill on the Bat Rider this time. He will live through it. Dazzle's here for some extra sustainability, and J4 will flap those wings back to safety. He does live, but this time Vega get the obvious advantage.
Yeah, the Dazzle heal changed everything there. It kind of looked close, but now that he's in the mix of it, Bat Rider's looking less effective.
Yeah.
Do they have any stacks to deal with? They haven't stacked at all here in the Dire Jungle. Like, maybe wish PR would have occasionally done this here.
Sioma the Slayer getting in deep. He gets silenced up here. Does have a shallow grave. Now the tether across. J4 will fall. Big Num might get dove here as well. Flame Break kind of bops him around, but Vega will just retreat.
Should have been able to kill Dazzle there, I think. He missed the Flame Break on him. It would have done 75 plus, like, yeah, it would have done like 300 damage.
Yep. He was silenced for a pretty long time there. Big Num, 5 stacks up on no one. Again, he's harassing really well, but this is time I feel like this Bat Rider could be in the lane trying to get these last hits into the tower. Every last hit matters for him at this point. 1 in 3, only 11 CS in 6 minutes. This is really tough.
Plus, you can see it in the net worth. It's actually 4 of the top 5 are all Radiant heroes. So it's still working somehow. I'm very surprised that it is that Wisp is ahead of all these heroes in net worth, but it's all about the last hits. If they get too close to the creep wave, then Huskar's just going to throw fire spears at him, so he can't last hit as safely.
Yeah.
Not to mention his attack speed's completely different.
I mean, so far Wisp has been involved in 1 kill per minute. He's 3, 2, and 3 at 6 minutes. So
a lot of those he didn't get experience for is the big thing.
Yeah,
they're usually tower kills after he had died.
Yeah. He is almost level 5, though, so keeping pace. I was going to comment that I feel like Cheshire Cat is doing pretty well. 20 last hits. He's only died once, but you compare it to the Darkseer, and he's gotten more out of the jungle and lane now, and he hasn't died yet, though. As I say that, this could be the change. Metamorphosis goes down right as Mag gets low. He'll make it into the tree line. Rotation from Solo. That picks him back up. So the off lane going in favor of Vega, mid lane now definitely in favor of Vega, and comparing safe lane farmers, Terrorblade is ahead of the Slardar, but it's not by much. I mean, FN will still be able to come online for sure. It's only a couple hundred net worth gap.
They don't really have the same defensive backups as Vega does. Yes, they do have Oracle, so Terrorblade should still be pretty strong, but other fight mid.
Yep, flame break, trying to push no one back. He's taking a lot of damage from this fire. It's a huge rotation from PR. 4-on-2. They will kill the Huskar. Use the life break to start that off. Now the Chrono on solo should secure an easy kill on the Wisp. Nowhere to go, and he will die again. 7-6.
Right. Nicely done for PR then to finally get the double kill with no one dying in return.
It is a big rotation though. 4 heroes, giving some space for FN to farm. And now Gotham is solo against the Darkseer, which is not fun for him.
Yeah, he'll be okay though. I mean, he's got really high armor, really high regen. He's got 2 extra tangos sitting in his inventory, so he can offset this. The only downside is that obviously Darkseer is going to get a lot in the meantime.
Right. Some stacks finally coming out for Power Rangers. J4 going to get this up to a 3-stack at the hard camp. Something for the Bat Rider to retreat to. Almost another kill on the Faceless Void. Sorry about that, folks.
Missed that one too. Both suck.
Second time we missed Void, just dying straight up.
I love the fast medallion on Dazzle. It's really good here when they have Slardar on top of that.
Yeah.
And he can use that on either. Who's faster? 2 Surge Zeros.
He set up Bat Rider versus a Surge Darkseer. That one's not going to work out for Big Num. That's unfortunate.
The medallion on Huskar is also going to be really useful this game. I mean, he's still going to have to worry about the magic damage coming, but Dazzle medallion plus Dazzle ulti, and then they're also going to have Slardar ulti. It's huge kill potential. Yeah. With a minus armor on Void right now, he's already at -2, and we've just started.
Yeah, that hurts. That really hurts. You're right, though, about all this physical damage. There's just some natural synergy between the Dazzle and Slardar, and especially now that the Slardar is level 6, all that stuff does more damage. Even that 1 point in Poison Touch, 140 gets buffed up. They're going to finish off this tier 1 tower. Slardar getting credit for it, but now he gets silenced up by the Skywrath Mage. Heal Bomb from Sayoma. Push him back, and PR not going to be able to mount the defense they were hoping for. All of a sudden, the Slardar's farm looking a lot better. About even with the Terrorblade now. He's got his armlet halfway to the Blink Dagger after that tower kill.
I actually really like the armlet start this game. It's completely worth it. If you're battling a lot and you have defensive heroes to back you up, you should be able to consistently armlet toggle. Because if he almost dies and he gets graved, it's a guaranteed armlet toggle anyway. So it's a great armlet game. It'll amplify all the minus armor as well that they have.
Yep, double armlet Huskar working on his. Not too far away as he starts moving into some neutrals. Right now, their next thing is getting 6 on these supports. Right now, Dazzle actually does have Weave, but solo about halfway through 5. The Tome of Knowledge will be coming up in 25 seconds, so that should be enough to push him over the threshold and get that precious relocate so they can, you know, start finding some more kills, maybe look for a gank on this Terrorblade.
They're stacking with Skywrath Mage as well. He's getting a large camp really filled up here. That's going to be important for the Blink Dagger for Big Num. He's a little behind 500 gold right now, so very far until Blink. But once he gets that, they'll have some movement advantage. They still do have to worry about lasso and stuff like that, but any kills that they can get is going to give them advantage, and they definitely need to use their abilities to get kills. Chronosphere, Bat Rider, lasso, that's how they get ahead this game and win it.
Yeah, it would be great if Vega could try to get some wards down in the enemy jungle, because they do have the ability to contest that stack being killed, especially with Relocate online. You get a Slardar in there, Huskar can life break, that Bat Rider will fall pretty quick. I'm curious when he's going to try to go for that stack and how long they're going to leave it sitting there. All
they scanned here, though, by the way. They saw the invis on grab, so they scanned themselves to see if he was still there. That was a cool play.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh, they did have a dust. They brought themselves a duster, I think.
Good call. Well, everybody pretty happy just sitting back and farming on Vega for now. Dragonlance is up on Gotham. First item on the Terrorblade. Amazing on him. Great stats. That extra range, of course, synergizes well with meta. He is...
Is he going to BOTs?
He might.
I feel like usually they have treads by now, so because he skipped it. Oh, yeah. Never mind, it's over. What do you do for nothing? It might be a BOT. Is there a usefulness this game? I mean, it would give a movement speed advantage over the Slardar, who's normally very fast. Maybe Huskar as well, he could chase down better. They have pretty weak disables on Vega. It's basically just Slar Crush. Movement speed is actually pretty good this game on PR's side.
And it would open up some split push potential once he starts to come online a little bit, moves towards the Manta to play that illusion game, and that's where the BOTs can really shine. Yeah,
he could deal so much better with IO if he goes BOTs. It might actually be worth it this game. He's gonna get attack speed, so skipping out on treads isn't that big of a deal in my opinion.
Yeah, the Dragonlance helps make up for it. Some of the treads is also just having the stats. You know, very high armor but relatively low HP hero, and having that extra strength does help.
He can get away with it though, I think. Maybe he doesn't buy early, but at some point might be good. It's like the old way people used to play PLR, play PLR on TI5, for example. Very often. Now you still buy streds.
Okay.
All that hype for nothing.
Relocate back towards mid. Solo saves his Huskar. Probably didn't need to use it, but wanted to be safe. Not a lot of heroes in vision for PR, so he will play Sacrificial Lamb Hand to kill over to the Oracle as he heads back mid. But it looks like Vega will try to contest this. They are starting to move in as PR puts some pressure on this tower mid. FN jumps in, gets silenced right away after the crush, and now no one just jumps forward. False Promise comes out. Back wall from the Darkseer connects on 2. Mag does have a mech. He's already popped it. And the fight getting spread out. Wisp will be up pretty soon. Vega do defend the tower. They don't find any kills out of it, but do a good job stalling things out. FN jumps in, brings down Cheshire Cat. Nicely done to catch the Void. No chrono available there, and he will be the first casualty of this back and forth.
Really nice counter initiation by FN. Well, not counter, but reinitiation. Oh, he's not done yet?
Yeah, they're going to go in on the got him. The amp damage comes out. He's taking huge damage here. FN will get credit for that after the life break from no one brings him low. And the typically tanky Terrorblade falls in the blink of an eye.
Guess on that one? Like, he just blinked past the tower to look for a kill there?
That's kind of what it seemed like. Vision, but yeah, it is nighttime, so with the tower, like, maybe about here, I think it was just a good blind blink.
He might have had amp damage on him, but I wasn't 100%. But Slaughter absolutely won that fight for them. Like, both of his initiations. Initiate, stun, force him to use some spells, then get out again, and then reinitiate again. He did that 3 times total, which is exactly how you need to play Slaughter, and it got them kills every time. And he also held the sprint, of course, until he was ready to run. Used it as you initiate, it puts you in a much worse place.
It's like giving the other team a free Orchid buff, kind of. Roche falls.
The other thing that was super good was just Ion Shell in that fight, because it's such a good nuke early on. It's like every single one of your heroes is an Ember Spirit in terms of damage early game. Better than that. It's like 90 damage versus Embers. I think he does like 60 or something.
I was gonna say maxes out at 80. I thought it was 20-20-20, but I might be mistaken.
No, I think it's like more of a early heavy. It starts early and scales up a little bit over time. It's mostly about the damage block.
So it's not linear scaling. All right, that's an interesting analogy though. Ion Shell sort of turns like the Huskar into a scarier Ember Spirit. I like that. Well, now an Aegis in the inventory of no one. It's a nice easy roast for Vega. Part of the power of all this minus armor. The medallion on Dazzle makes it even easier. They'll take out this tier 2 tower in the bottom lane uncontested. Meanwhile, up top, FN playing some ring around the rosy here with J4.
He walked right past him and just blinked away once he got scared. It's weird because he had vision of him. They literally. Oh, it's a dire word. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh, got him.
J4 didn't watch either.
Could be in some trouble, perhaps. All of Vega are nearby, but they'll force a big reaction out of PR. And that aggressive play almost defends this tower up top. It will end up falling. It's got 40 HP left. Cheshire Cat going to press in here. He will finish it off. But man, Vega want to be aggressive here, Purge. They are hungry for blood.
And they should. That's so hard for them to die with Dazzle backing them up. They can weave on top of him. They can medallion him too. Like, his one weakness, well, other than pure damage, is physical, and they can offset that with the Dazzle completely. And they have Iota saves. They have so many good saves here. They should definitely keep pressuring with no one, especially with Aegis.
Yep, and they still have a lot of time left on the Aegis, about 3 minutes. Tier 2 tower taking some damage. PR still just trying to split farm for now. Terrorblade, almost level 11, but only the Dragonlance treads. Godham's farm is really starting to slow down. He is still at the top of the pack, but sitting in the base right now, anticipating a high ground defense will be imminent.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset that he's here. I don't know where he was right before this, but if he was top lane, for example, he could at least be farming, pushing lanes. If Terrorblade doesn't get a couple towers or isn't able to set the tempo of the game, I really feel like he falls behind compared to a lot of other carries. And Huskar's one other carry that he has a lot of trouble doing that against.
Absolutely. Vega get the tier 2. They'll just back up. Still plenty of time on the Aegis, and I think they'll just transition up top. Still a tier 1 tower standing. That one should be pretty ripe for the taking. They might go back to farming for a couple minutes here. Are they on the cusp of any big core items? What's Huskar working on next? He should have a fair bit of gold, about 1,800. I'm actually curious where no one wants to go. He's got
he could
armlet.
Pretty good Halberd game. There's still obviously a lot of magic damage. Floater dies top here. Hoping there was a solo hero, looks like, and there ended up being 3 heroes. They had vision advantage that whole time, so they were just waiting for him to go in.
Yeah, there's the word right there. It's finally going to be a lasso to get a kill. There's a blink dagger up on the Bat Rider, so he does have that stretch of initiation. He was able to kill out that big stack in the jungle.
Yeah, he was there for the starter kill as well. Looks like he did use lasso. Probably a counter initiation either way, though. Veil is going to be finished for Skywrath Mage at least. He doesn't have a wand or anything else, but they have some kill possibilities now.
Yeah.
That's the only downside to Halberd on Huskar, actually, is that he's not going to be able to deal with magic at all.
It is really good against Terrorblade, though. He's not going to go Yasha. Like, TB does not want to go BKB right after Yasha.
Or even having to get an MKB. Like, if he just can't hit the Huskar, period of time where he's just kind of unfull in some ways.
Although they could also get the Halberd and then also go for the upgraded medallion, the Solar Crest on Dazzle, get the double evasion going. That would be very hard to deal with. Oh, down
that's
bottom.
Extremely likely, actually.
YW caught by the Slardar. Relocate comes in. They're not even going to get there in time for the kill. Vega just getting easy pickoffs around the map now.
Such a cool thing about their draft as well. Normally you have like a Nyx Assassin or a Bat Rider setting these ganks up, but to have your carry Slardar do it is so smart.
Yeah.
Super mobile, can do damage himself, so bringing the Huskar is going to always be enough damage.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
All right, Vega happy with pickoffs for now. Looks like a BKB on the way for Slardar as no one in solo move up to the top lane, put some pressure on this tier 1. Gonna start to gravitate that way. I feel like Vega are in that mode right now where they know they're ahead, they know they're in control of the game, and they have the option to kind of sit back and farm, and they're finding this good middle ground of farming a lot, but also still finding pickoffs and putting pressure on objectives. The Aegis will not be lasting too much longer. It's got about 20 seconds left. Might end actually right as this fight breaks out. No one needs to be a little bit careful here about that timing.
Oh, there's no relocate for 30. This is such a good fight for them.
Lasso onto solo. Big Num going to start things off. Not much follow-up damage, though. There's the Chrono. Connects on 2. They bring down the Wisp. No one will die. No, the Shallow Grave comes out just as the Aegis expires. Not going to be able to get much regen out of it, but there's heal from Dazzle. Wisp buyback as well. Armlet toggling. Huskar's going to stand and fight. He'll do as much damage as he can before he falls. Oracle ult saves Cheshire Cat, and Huskar will not be able to handle it.
That was just a Fate's Edict. Such a good counter here.
Yeah, you're right. It stopped all that fire damage. Very nice. Okay.
Ooh, Slark could turn here. I don't think with just IO they can. This is so dangerous.
Yeah, especially with meta still on about half duration. I don't think they really want to do this. That's
plus all the enemy heroes were there.
Net worth trade though. It's 2 kills and a buyback, about 2,600 net worth exchanged.
It still doesn't look good on the net worth graph though, or even just the net worth bars on the left. So they're still very behind in a lot of ways. Their one carry as well is just Terrorblade. That's the only carry potential they have. Void had kind of a bad time in the offlane, so he's not going to be putting out anything. And they haven't really been getting that many kills with their magic nukes as well, just because Vega did the early 5-man, and you kind of need them to be spread out for those kills to work.
Now, Vega falter there, but they still have plenty of options. Looks like the 5-man will continue now in the bottom lane. They could always just farm the map, wait out next Roche, and try and secure themselves another Aegis. Darkseer now, he picks up Hooded Defiance. Looks like Pipe might be on the way to try and deal with the Skywrath, as well as all the magic damage coming out of the Bat Rider.
Have you seen Huskar's KDA?
0, 4, and 6.
Yeah,
wow.
That's terrible.
Lane break on YW, just pushing him back. I believe they're going high ground here, without Aegis, without anything. The Halberd is up on Huskar now, so he does have a lot of that evasion we were talking about. And they're just trying to hit this early game timing where it's hard to deal with. Got him. There's very limited options here on the Terrorblade. No meta for 40 seconds. Maybe that's the window they're trying to hit also.
Might as well. He's still waiting for it. I mean, he's got Manta at least, so he's pretty survivable, and he doesn't have to worry about amp damage as much now, but...
I mean, that was great from Vega. They force out a glyph, and they get the tier 3 tower.
Oh my god.
Chrono on 4. Mystic Flare splits a lot of damage. Darkseer does get off the mech, and they all survive through it. Now Dazzle starts dropping heals, but it is the Wisp that dies. Now the Grave from Dazzle has to use it on himself. No one in the front line taking a lot of damage, does get disarmed. And they will lose the Dazzle in the back line. Ends up not being a great fight for Vega. It doesn't look like, at least. No one doing what damage he can, but there's the false promise from Oracle. Cheshire Cat will live. Mag backs out. FN trying to make the great escape here, but this is going to be a tall order for the Slardar. And just like that, PR almost wiped Vega. Mag trying to TP out. They do not get the interrupt. Wow, that flame break is close.
He messed up. He should have cast it right in front of himself, because then it had projectile or travel time. He could, I think he could have gotten the stun, but either way, it's a very small nitpick considering the fight that PR just took. I mean, Vega definitely screwed up by grouping that much, though. They needed to spread their heroes out more. And with the ward placed on the high ground like this, I love when teams do this. It just lets you see exactly where your opponents are going on the retreat. It was nighttime, they didn't get to prep for that, and the 4-man Chrono, despite nobody dying or getting that low during the fight, it set them up the ability to force Vega to just all-out run, because they took way too much damage and disable.
Yep. Yeah, Vega definitely felt a little cocky there. It was a great play to try to take out the tier 3 when Metamorphosis was down. They forced out the glyph, but on the retreat, completely clumping on the high ground. They sort of had that moment of, oh, we're good. We got the tower, and Void was just lingering on the low ground, ready to jump in. Really good positioning and really good play from Cheshire Cat to make it all possible. He is going to go for kind of an interesting build here, though, Purge. Just a casual Morbid Mask for farming, no Vlads, and now straight into Manta. I think last game we saw the Vlads into Diffusal build, and he's going for a sort of a similar vein, but a different order.
Yeah, I understand why he's doing this. He got the Morbid Mass just so that he can increase his farming speed and always have, well, not increase his farming speed, but never have to go back to base, always be full HP basically. And now he's going Manta to counter the amp damage, which is one of the few ways that he can actually die. Again, Vega has very, very weak disables this game. They've only got Star Crush, so if he can make sure that he doesn't get bursted down in like 2 seconds to right clicks by removing amp damage and time walking, then he will continue to not die. With that said though, I kind of wish he would have built the Vlads early, just because there's so much minus armor on Vega, he's gonna need the damage amp to his team. Not to mention the fact that there aren't very many carries on his team. That's why that fight was so significant, because it finally pushed Void into a position where he's about to be competitive in terms of farm. He will probably scale as a carry now, just because his hero is going to farm fast and will have enough items, but it was definitely looking scary for PR. If Void didn't get online, I think TB just would have been controlled late game.
Yeah, I agree. Looking back at this replay now of that Chronosphere, even though they survived through it, it didn't catch the Darkseer. He was the one that was carrying the mech, so it seemed like, okay, they have some sustainability through this. Dazzle got a huge heal off right away that connected on the whole team, did a little bit of counter damage, but as soon as the mech and that first Shadow Wave were done, they were out of sustainable resources, and the Wisp died almost immediately after that because of the lasso from the Bat Rider, and then Dazzle was forced to grave himself, which is really never ideal in that kind of scenario, and then he died almost immediately after the grave expired because he had no more resources. So they used what little they had to delay it, and then PR just dropped the big damage. PR said go with their Void still disconnected, and it was like, it looks like he's back now. Whew.
Okay, he said go. He's in here already.
Yeah.
It's probably just on Skype.
Look at Solo up top, man. That's a party if I've ever seen one.
What do you point out?
He was, I screenshot, it might have been different on your screen, but right with the pause, it was like he had just TP'd or just casted the spirit balls or something. He was just a giant, it looked like a firework that just exploded, basically.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen that before. So.
I didn't see it when it still paused, that's probably why.
Yeah. All right.
Solar Crest is the item on Dazzle here. Choice.
All right. I like that.
Well, every fight kind of just seems like Huskar, even though he does a lot of damage, the Chronosphere just changes everything, because it allows PR to just run at Vega, and Vega can't really limit that. It'd be like a perfect game to have a team fight ultimate like Tidehunter Ravage or Chronosphere, and that kind of seems to be the one weakness that Vega has.
Yeah, they will get a few more core items up, though. The pipe now completed on the Darkseer, and you talked about that Solar Crest Halberd combo. So it's a fair bit of evasion if you put it on the Huskar. He gets 25%, and then the additional 25%. So it's like an effective, probably 40% evasion, something like that.
Yeah, most likely.
Seoma in some trouble. Nice
there.
relocate. But Wisp might be in trouble now.
Have the Oracle for vision. But yeah, if he would have interrupted, if the Flame Break would have hit the IO, they would have gotten the double kill there, possibly.
All right, Solo is going to be good. They just give him a shallow grave, and he tethers to the creeps. They don't even go for a kill. Roche has respawned, though. Double damage onto Gotham. They're going to move right into the pit with just 2 heroes. He has committed the Metamorphosis for this. It is getting pinged out a lot. Vegas seem maybe a little suspicious, but they don't have any confirmation, and they will just let it go. PR getting second Roche, and one step closer to taking control of this game. Look at the graphs, and they are actually in an okay spot now. They're taking over the driver's seat.
Yeah, I think they're in a good position now. It was scary before. I just wonder how different the game would have been if Vega would have gotten more kills on Huskar. If the mid lane went slightly in their advantage, this game could be just over right now. He's been ahead, but mostly due to just 5-man and farming and tower pushing.
Yeah. Yeah, the Huskar, he's still keeping up. Not that #1 on net worth, kind of taking over as he had before. Now 2,100 gold. What do you look for next on the Huskar? When you go for a build like this, it is very early game focused. How do you start to transition towards more of a mid or late game build?
I'm a little unsure, actually. There's a couple different ways he could go, though. He could just get some raw HP to make sure that their burst doesn't kill him, but that doesn't really seem to be the problem when they have a Dazzle and an IO. With that, he probably should go damage, most likely. Whether or not he goes Satanic or if he just grabs like a MKB or a Daedalus. I mean, he might have to MKB just due to the eventual butterfly from Terrorblade, but I think he's got one item until then. I'm just not
I
really
like
sure.
the Satanic. They already have a lot of sustainability. That gives him another reset tool. Also just helps buff up that HP pool a little extra damage.
Yeah, but they have so many good ways to stop him from attacking. They've got Lasso, they've got Chronosphere. They can even just cast a second spell of Oracle on him as soon as he uses Satanic.
Yeah.
He almost needs to just BKB so he doesn't get kited, but Chronosphere and Lasso will still go through him. It's a hard item option for him. I'm very excited to see what he gets because I'm not sure. I'm not confident what he buys here. Unless he gets a second Halberd. That's also a possibility. Some Huskar players do go that option.
Huh. That's a peculiar
Both
build.
Terrorblade and Void could eventually build those. If they had like non-right-click carries, then that could be very justified, but maybe it won't be here.
And there is a lot of gold up on Gotham. He's got about 4,200. Oh, Mag, wrong place, wrong time. Walks into a Lasso Silence. Will be able to mech, but not Guardian Greaves. He actually lives to the relocate. Huge stun from FN as he jumps in here. Now Gotham pops the illusions. He starts going hard, and Vega will disengage. They lose their Darkseer. It's like, did Oracle get him in the well? Yeah, looks like it. And the Wisp will die on the relocate. Almost a good
Really
save.
good for PR.
Yeah.
And that's what's so good about their lineup here is, you know, the Terrorblade ended up still out farming everybody, but now they have Batrider Lasso and they have Chronospheres. So all that early game advantage that Vega created, it just hasn't been super transitioning. And part of that's because they lost that bot fight. They needed to get out before getting 4-man Chrono.
Yeah, man. They could have lost that fight, like sacrificed a couple of heroes, but they needed to avoid getting completely team wiped that they did. That shifted so much momentum. And now PR looking at a high ground siege. Not too much time left on the Metamorphosis, but they'll get some decent damage into this tower before it expires. No glyph for Vega. They've already used it. This will be a free tier 3 tower. This game now very even. Both teams with one tier 3 down. J4 gets caught on the TP out. FN him with a stun. Looks like everyone else will make it out in time. They get one recovery kill out of it, but Vega certainly hoping for more than that.
Better than losing the racks, I guess. So, really good dire wards as well from PR, so they've got great map vision. And Vega's weaknesses are really showing now. They don't have good disable, they don't have very good kill potential. And it's going to be a Scotty choice for Terrorblade. No surprise there, just increases overall survivability while also doing damage.
Yeah.
Next item for sure is going to be Butterfly, though, depending on what Huskar gets. If Huskar doesn't have MKB, he gets Butterfly, and then Terrorblade Illusions become a huge pain in the ass. I could see him running away with this game now because of this.
He bought the Reaver, so it looks like it will be Satanic next item for solo, or for no one rather.
Okay choice. 25 damage while giving you 500 HP. It's alright. You just might get chain stun and boost despite having it.
Oh, they're looking for the Void. Good setup here for Cheshire Cat. He's ready to drop a Chrono and try to take this fight. Vega are suspicious. They're still pinging it out. Slardar with the same idea, hiding in the tree line, ready to try and counter-initiate here. Aegis is still up on the Terrorblade. He's got about another minute left. Got him, just going to wrap around the backside. An awkward time for Vega to try to take this fight. Cheshire Cat placed into an odd spot. Chrono connects on quite a few of his own teammates as well. Solo getting soloed off to the side, but will be able to tether away. No one taking huge damage. Shallow Grave buys him a little bit of time, but he's just going in on the Terrorblade. He gets off a Sunder, and he is going to live through this, I think. This is a really awkward back and forth. Huskar's just bouncing all over the place. He does finally go down. It's a 2-for-1. The Vegas support line did a good job disengaging and staying alive, but in the end, they can't bring down this Terrorblade. And even if they did, he does have the Aegis anyway. FN tries to reinitiate, not going to connect on the Crush. Dazzle Graves himself to try and make some more time. J4 taking some damage against the Darkseer. Got him, almost dies to the Dazzle. Still stays living, and Aegis just going to heal him right back up. A really strange fight. 2-for-3 goes slightly better for Vega than I thought it would. But in the end, not theirs to take. FN reinitiates. Maybe they get Cheshire Cat here. Time Walk regains some of that lost HP, and now Gotham just turns it on and obliterates. That's another Metamorphosis.
Well, he was waiting for it to come off that, or he didn't want to use it the whole fight because he knew he had Aegis. If he dies, they did nerf TB in that. You respawn from Aegis, you don't have meta anymore. So he just won that whole fight in melee range, which is amazing considering you get 80 bonus damage from Metamorphosis and a lower base attack time. I think. Maybe it's better. I can't remember if it's better or worse.
Base attack time 1.5. Does it say what his normal base attack time is? It just says attack speed.
I think it's worse because the anti-mage animation in Dota 1 was like the best in the game. It was one of the lowest BATs I know, and the Terrorblade model was a slightly different version of anti-mage. It's like a later in the game version of anti-mage.
Yeah.
Campaign-wise. That shit matters, guys. That actually impacts how the mechanics were designed in the first place. You can use it to figure out stuff.
Yeah, it actually does. But seeing another fight like that, PR in great shape. They've taken over the lead on both XP and net worth overall. Terrorblade just picked up a Scotty, and he's up to 3,400 gold already. Look at that net worth chart, and he is just taking over.
If he gets Butterfly, it's just the game's over for Vega. They can't deal with it. Satanic, I mean, Huskar was really effective in the last game, in the last fight. If he had Satanic on top of all of that, it could have been Vega winning that fight. So it could go the opposite way. But if he just farms passively for 5 minutes or so and finishes Butterfly, then Huskar is screwed. Because he's only got 600 gold, nowhere near close to MKB.
Yeah. Terrorblade has just been too much in these last few fights. I mean, the pipe, I think Mag kind of needs Guardian Greaves here as well. Just having that purge for himself, so if he gets silenced, he can cleanse it off. Make sure he gets that heal off. I think that would
matter a lot. I mean, he's always getting the mech pipe off, but minimum the ability to vacuum wall when they're all jumping on you and silenced you, it could be massive. The damage is not to be underestimated. Illusion damage is great for wall of replica.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He picks up a Blink Dagger now. It's not going to be Guardian Greaves, just looking to get more initiation prowess.
It's fine, honestly. Like, there's one silence on the enemy team. It could hit him. More often than not, he'll be able to survive long enough. But Blink Dagger is definitely more important, and in some ways that also solves the problem in the first place. If you won't get silenced if you're blinking in. So.
PR just happy farming. Both sides taking a slightly more passive turn, maybe waiting out next Roche. We'll see what that timer looks like pretty soon here. PR have one outer tower. Both teams actually have one tier 2 tower remaining, and you could just see a tower exchange. Both teams moving into the opposition's territory. Oh, also a tier 2 in the mid here for Vega still. It looks like we might just see a tier 2 for tier 2 exchange as Gotham moves into tower range.
Yeah, this is fine, like I said, for PR. This will get them closer to their next item on TV, which should be Butterfly. If he doesn't get Butterfly, I'm blown away. But it definitely should be a Butterfly here.
I mean, I don't know what else you would get.
You could buy like Daedalus or something there. You know, there's always options that you could get instead. But Butterfly is easily the item here. Vega does not have good AoE abilities. That means they're not going to be able to clear the illusions easily. It'll give him Bash Avoidance for Slardar. It'll give him more armor. It'll give him evasion against the Huskar as well.
Yep. Tier 2 tower up top, taking a lot of damage. Looks like PR will not come back to defend, just moving around in enemy territory. Clearing out the jungle, looking for opportunities to fight perhaps. Terrorblade finishes off the tier 2 mid, so it is 2 towers in exchange for 1. Now all of the outer towers have been killed, both teams with 1 tier 3 dead.
I like this. They send all the illusions top to do some range barracks damage. They're not going to do that much, but that's significant still. 300 damage to the range barracks could matter later.
And it will be a relatively quick Roche respawn, about 10 seconds or so till the big boy comes up.
A 1 minute respawn or something, pretty good. Pretty fast.
There we go, just a couple of seconds. So I think this Roche will definitely become the focal point of the match here. A lot of minus armor for Vega, so if they can sneak in, they can kill it very fast. But now the Butterfly's up on Gotham, and as we've talked about, there is not a great counter here. Huskar with 3k gold, still quite a ways away from that MKB.
No, both teams do have Solar Crest, so any Solar Crest advantage Vega has is also offset too. So Solar Crest and Butterfly, not gonna die. That's gonna be like 50% evasion or something.
Yeah.
Put that on top of his 40 armor, which gives you 70% physical damage resistance. Means that they're doing 15% damage, including evasion. That is actually obscene.
40 armor. Oh my.
At least the burning spheres, if they hit, will then obviously do magic damage. But
EKB also on Bat Riders. We see a smoke now from Power Rangers rotating into enemy territory. Vega, kind of a precarious situation here. Both the supports are on the back line. Losing Dazzler Wisp first is going to hurt Solo. Caught by the lasso. Not the start that they wanted. Grave comes out. That does reset for Solo a little bit. It's a nice back wall from the Darkseer. Giving me huge frame drops here. The Chrono's a complete whiff. Oh no, Cheshire Cat throws it away, and now this fight could go the way of Vega. They've taken 2 already. Got him. Gets off a Sunder, but he's been completely repelled. No one winning this man fight as now FN connects with a stun.
He's gonna die.
And they will bring down the Terrorblade 4-0. You gotta look at the replay on that one. Always hard to see what's happening when you get the frame drops from a big ion shell vac wall like that, but Vega just completely cleaned it up.
I'm so surprised that happened. I can't believe it. That looks so good for PR. They swung from the backline, they initiated, but there's just never a Chronosphere from Void, and when it did come out, it wasn't even close to anybody.
It was a complete, it didn't even hit his own teammates, like it just missed everything.
so confused. And it happened so close to the racks. Did they get a racks out of this? Possibly 2 barracks? Maybe force TB buyback? And Huskar got 5k gold, which means he can now get MKB. They lost their butterfly advantage because that fight was so one-sided.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. What a topsy-turvy game. That was a 12k net worth lead for PR, and that's now mitigated to about a break even once this tier 3 tower in the mid goes down. Buyback from Terrorblade now used. He does have Metamorphosis not available. It's down for 60 seconds. So he can fight, but it's not ideal. They're going to stay true to the course and try and focus on the barracks. No one will get disarmed. Lasso on the FN. They might have to back out. They're pinging the melee barracks. They just want to finish it off. Beautiful relocate. Saves the Slardar. They get the melee barracks after all. Cheshire Cat does not have a chrono for about 15. No one's still very survivable, doing what he can here. Flame break in onto YW. That's a false promise, but he might be able to survive through it still. No one in so deep right now. Satanic on cooldown, but he hits a shallow grave. He's still alive. He's going hard on somebody. I don't know what the plan of attack is here, but he is just taking way too much damage. He's the sacrificial lamb. He pulls him deeper into their own base, and the rest of his team does make it out. So nicely done. He does survive for a very long time. And they get the melee barracks they came for.
Was the flame break, the Huskar close enough to get graved in the first place. He was going to die otherwise. Dazzle's like running up trying to save him.
Okay, so let's see if we can take a look at this fight now that we have a few moments here and see if we can figure out exactly what happened. I think everyone's going to go back to farming at least for a moment.
I missed a lot of the Terrorblade doing things in that fight as well. I just saw the last part where he fought the Huskar. I missed the Sunder. I mean, there was a huge vac wall. That was probably the biggest part about what Vega did.
Lasso on Wisp first. It looks really good. It's a shallow grave right away, and then it's just a huge vac wall from the Darkseer that helps reset. And the Chronosphere, it, like, almost catches the Huskar, but he flame breaks. I would have missed him anyway, but he does flame break away. It made it look like more of a whiff than it was, or life break rather, sorry. It seemed like PR just got really spread out. It was like the Darkseer wall it created the chaos factor where there were just so many illusions between him, the Terrorblade, and everyone else that it was just complete chaos. And it was like Power Rangers didn't know what to do. They stopped focusing on targets. Everybody spread out in a different direction. Void missed his ult, and then Terrorblade got completely isolated from the rest of his team. It sort of seemed like once the vac wall came out, some of them wanted to retreat and some of them wanted to keep fighting. And anytime you're running around not on the same page, that's pretty much what happens.
All right, and there's the MKB finish for Huskar now. That's what he needed, and maybe the only reason that Terrorblade had trouble as well was because of invasion coming out of Vega. So he kind of has to get an MKB next for himself, but he's holding on Aegis instead. I'd rather have Aegis than MKB right now, but even still, it's a little scary here.
Yeah, and while we were watching that replay, of course, Roche fell to the dire side. That's Aegis and Cheese. Cheese goes the way of the Faceless Void, and like Purge just said, that is an Aegis of the Immortal on the Terrorblade. So this game's still not over. If PR win a fight, they could cripple this Vega base. There are 0 buybacks available on either side. TB, the only one that has it on cooldown. Tier 3 tower gets evaporated.
They didn't glyph either.
Holding on to the glyph and still holding on to the metamorphosis as well. Everyone from Vega is back. They're ready to fight. Bat Rider now the only one with buyback. There's the glyph. Saves the melee barracks mid.
Nice to know by no one there. That was really well done. Kind of meta though.
Yep, they're going to wrap around. Mag goes in, gets it back just on one. It's Cheshire Cat, but it does isolate him. Remember, he has the cheese, hasn't eaten it yet. Lasso not going to find a kill. Solo still alive. Now he gets shallow grave. No one getting low. But again, he does live. This is looking like a good hold from Vega. Some ults exchanged. Even the Thunder was used there.
He almost got the Sultan on the Wisp, but he didn't go for the Chrono. Now he's dead. Oh, what a huge mistake.
Why did he do that? The rest, again, it's like rinse and repeat. The rest of PR back out. Void jumps in with Chrono still available. Now they relocate out. They want to cut off this retreat and find some more kills here.
Yeah, there's a gem on Bat. They really wanted to kill him.
Yeah, Bat's going to blink to the high ground, and he is going to be able to TP home. Okay, but still a great hold from Vega. They don't lose the melee barracks. They do lose a tier 3 tower. That hurts a little bit, but acceptable losses. No buybacks used, and they get a kill on the Void.
Man, if Void just waited and did a reinitiation, they could have continued the push and gone for a Chrono, because that was one big advantage they had over their opponents. The wall was already gone. They did lose Metamorphosis, though. It just seemed like a miscommunication. He was so close to killing the IO, though. If he got a bash, he would have killed him. But
yeah. I mean, now when Terrorblade has Aegis, it's actually sort of a hard call to decide when do you want to use Metamorphosis. You have to gauge the fight and see, are you going to be bursted down because you want to save it for after the Aegis, but it can be a double-edged sword. If you don't use it, then you don't win the fight. I mean, he still has Aegis now, but no meta for a minute. Oh, no one. Caught by a lasso. Big Num going to pull him deep into enemy territory. He's going to start taking a lot of damage, but the supports are inbound. Vega focusing on objectives for now. There is no glyph for the Dire, though. It's up in about 15 seconds. No one's still in the front lines. Oh, that turn rate. It hurts. It's slow, but he will live.
Oh, he wasted Satanic too. Instantly.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
I think they heard the sound as well. And they've got gems, so they might catch these double wards as they come out of their base.
All right, PR hanging on. Creeps now pushing into the mid lane. It is a ranged barracks, so every little bit of sure damage on that thing does help. Lasso on cooldown for another 24, and TB's buyback still on cooldown for about 2 minutes. Aegis timer, we've got slightly over a minute on that one as well. A very tense moment. Metamorphosis coming off cooldown. That will make things a little bit easier for PR, but I think Vega are even happy to force that cooldown to be used in a more defensive posture, so they know their base will be safe for at least another meta cycle.
Yeah, and now the net worth is pushed back in Vega's advantage again. You know, Sir Slardar are way ahead. Maybe not way ahead, but they're ahead of the Faceless Void. And with Huskar finishing the MKB, he's so much stronger than he was a moment ago.
Yeah, it's
he still
actually
has 2 item
ridiculous.
slots too. You can still get a boot upgrade and sell his wand and pick up something instead. There's already an AC on his team, so he wouldn't do that. But
I mean, is Heart a decent choice here for Huskar to replace that wand?
I don't know, kind of. Like, he gets bonus from his attribute with Inner Vitality, so he'd get more heal, but increases your HP by 1,000, gives you 45 damage, but it's probably better just to buy a Daedalus or something like that, I feel like.
Just go big damage.
Especially because you could then crit on your lifesteal and get more. I just feel like that's better than just raw HP.
Okay. Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that.
It's a hard choice, though, honestly. It really is a difficult choice.
Still a fairly even game here. Vega are in control, but man, just look at that gold graph. That really tells this story well. It's quite the valley that's been created as Vega come back into the lead, but a very minor lead at that. Terrablade's still quite scary. Aegis will expire, but he's got another 4K gold, so that next inventory slot opened up for something else. Maybe an MKB, but we'll see what he wants.
You know, he could actually Bloodthorn this game. Forgot about that, but it gives him crit. And the important thing is that when you use the active against a Huskar, it removes you get True Strike whenever you use it on somebody. And it'd be 5 out of 11 seconds. He doesn't have BKB. The only problem is that if he gets a BKB as his last item, then he's super hard countered. The Bloodthorn would be. It's an expensive item too. It's an option. Definitely an option here. Could give them the
It's an option if
True
he
Strike.
sees the Huskar commit to something else. Like if he sees no one, you know, look towards a heart or something like that at this point, then you know you're pretty safe and it'll be hard for him to pivot right to a BKB.
It'd be a good solution then, definitely.
Does Terrorblade need a BKB this game? Nope, he's going to go MKB straight away. Okay, double Javelin, so we'll nix that.
It's
And it's good
illusion set
damage
too.
output. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Actually, with this much attack speed, with all these agility items, it's actually bad. And mini bashes could force your opponents into mistakes where you cancel their animations and things like that. That stuff can swing a fight.
It's actually really obnoxious. You don't think of the mini bash as that significant. Think of it more about the
die.
damage, but it's a
This
it's
is
a huge
so bad.
deal.
He gets killed here.
No. Smoke
spot out
got him.
too.
Oh no, he is in so much trouble. He doesn't have a buyback. He just went all in. 90. That's game, dude. 90 seconds, no buyback.
Oh my god, he almost lived too. The Batrider almost saved him there. Forced him, he manted to get off the damage, and then the Sunder didn't come out fast enough. That's
What a
it's just over.
heartbreaking way to end this game. Like, the MKB is the right item choice. He goes all in because he knows there's a fight brewing. They have to defend high ground. Actually, the worst time for him to die.
So smart by Vega. Even if they didn't find a hero there's a chance they found a courier buying items, and that could also give them a gold advantage.
Top tower has fallen.
Well, now it's just an easy siege from Vega. They'll put the Huskar on the high ground, everyone else on the low ground. And these are the last barracks standing. Still the ranged barracks mid. Big Numb going to jump in. They'll try to do something aggressive. Cheshire Cat needs a big chrono. He catches FN. At least Slardar can't counter-initiate now, but there's just no follow-up damage. The TB is so much of their team fight. Just trying to buy time, prevent the Megas from coming out. Terrorblade up in 30. All 4 still alive on PR, but Cheshire Cat...
Wow.
Well, that changes. Man, Slardar just trucked him.
Has fallen.
Yeah, that was amp damage, AC, and I'm sure they used the Solar Crest as well. He just died instantly.
It looked like an Echo Saber hit or something from the Slardar, how fast he died. They dive into the well. They'll finish off the Sky Raft, and yeah, this will be the end of the game. PR going to get completely cleaned up. Huskar with all this evasion, just tanking the Fire Bush right now. And poor Power Rangers. A heartbreaking way to be eliminated for the second time from the Global Grandmasters. On the cusp of taking us to a Game 3, and Well, it's not going to happen here. Got him. Will come back up. He gets off a Sunder this time. I might be able to get a kill on the Wisp. That would be cute, but nope. That's a shallow grave. And a Rampage for the Huskar to end the game. Vega doing it in style. He's just showing off now, just sitting there tanking that cute little fountain.
Yeah, I really do love watching Vega. I would have loved to see a third game, but PR had control of this game. They had a great team fight to put Vega behind when Vega was winning, and then they just weren't able to close it out. Just too many team fights that flopped. They needed that fight near the bot jungle, the Radiant jungle to go well, and it completely went the opposite way for them, despite them having so many advantages on paper. Maybe we can criticize Face's Void as well. I felt like he never really